What's happening, beautiful people? Happy Wednesday, everyone. It's Wednesday, 23rd of September. It's 10 past 10, and we're 10 minutes into the European opening. Here's what's happening with the markets today, guys. European stock markets are seen trading higher today with a bit of help from Wall Street, closing in green yesterday for the first time in a week. All eyes will be on the Services PMI data in the Eurozone coming up just before lunchtime at 11 o'clock GMT plus 3, which is in less than 1 hour. Gold is trading sharply lower overnight, testing the lows at 1880. The question remains, where to from here? Crude oil remains pinned at the 39.50 mark before crude oil inventories today after seeing lower than expected the API Crude Oil data last night, and Brent Oil almost unchanged, trading around the 41.40 mark. In the afternoon, we're going to have Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testifying again in front of the U.S. Congress in his three-day appearance in front of the Congress. Yesterday, the markets done fairly well on the American session. The dollar went higher, surprisingly, after his testimony. Let's see what's going to happen today, guys. Today's the second day. Tomorrow is going to be his last day testifying in front of the Congress. Let me throw the trivia question before we get to the charts, guys. The trivia question of the day is, what documents you have to upload when opening a trading account and why? Very easy question for beginner and experienced traders. Drop me an answer, guys, and you might win an amazing prize this week. What documents you have to upload when opening a trading account and why? This is the trivia question of the day. If you like what we do, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you come across these lovely webinars and support us in delivering more quality content. Also, remember to join the Forexy Facebook chat. There we go. And you will get a lot of trading signals with an accuracy of up to 75%, guys. Very good trading signals coming from our friends from Forexy. All you have to do is go on their website and their lovely customer support will contact you. As you see at the right side of the screen at the very bottom, you're going to have two messages from the customer support. One is welcoming you to chat with them, and the second one is with the Facebook group that they created to provide you these amazing trading signals. Okay, and as I said, they tend to work with an accuracy of up to 75%. Now, moving on to the charts, guys, let's see how the markets performed overnight and what is expected to happen today. As I said a minute ago, we see oil currently trading at its lows at 39.30 and is trading below the 200 moving average. With the RSI and the stochastic pointing downwards, basically there's no confidence in the oil price today. Very likely we're going to see it pushing a bit lower, especially before the crude oil inventories that will be announced today. Moving on to the euro. The euro, guys, entered the downtrend in the last couple of days, as you can see. Pushing even lower overnight with the RSI and the stochastic still pointing downwards, currently trading at 116.86. Okay, let's see what's going to happen in 50 minutes once the announcements from the Eurozone come out. We're going to have a look at the economic calendar in a minute to see how many announcements we will have and where from. Right, moving on to the pound, guys. Obviously, with the UK announcing a potential lockdown and restrictive measures for businesses, again, the pound is not strengthening at all. If anything, it's pushing even lower. Currently trading at 126.91, and if this will continue, let's have a look at the charts on a 4-hour chart. Maybe we can get a hint on where it's aiming to go. So if it's going to break this level, guys, at 126.70, somewhere there, probably long-term traders will aim for the 125.18 mark, which is the previous low. Okay, corrections are expected time to time. Remember, when something goes into an uptrend, okay, it's not going to drop like a rock. You're going to have tiny corrections. So make sure you calculate your entry the right way if you decide to go short on the pound. Okay, if the signals show you that. Let's move on to USD JPY. The US dollar, as you see here, is apparently entering an uptrend versus the Japanese yen. I'm going to draw a trend channel on the charts really quick and show you what I'm talking about. There you go. These are the higher highs that the US dollar is creating. Okay, and now I'm drawing the channel for the lower lows. There we go. Okay, so this is the trend channel. Now, if this movement will continue, then very likely we're going to see a setup similar to this. Okay, on the markets with swings, highs and lows. Okay, this is what usually happens when the markets enter an uptrend. As long as the market keeps creating higher highs and higher lows, then that is to be considered an uptrend. Moving on to the Aussie dollar versus the US dollar. Obviously, as the US dollar keeps pushing higher, the Aussie dollar keeps pushing lower. You can see the sharp trading channel that we have right now on the Aussie dollar. Unfortunately, this movement reflected on gold price as well, with gold trading really, really low at 1880 or below. We're going to look at it in just a second. If the downwards movement on the Aussie dollar will continue, probably traders will aim for the 0.7077 level, which you can see here, which seems to be an important support level for the Aussie dollar. Okay, alternatively, they will aim for most probably for the 50 moving average if they decide to go long on the Aussie dollar at 0.7193 as things stand right now. Okay, so somewhere there in that region. It all has to do with the strength of the US dollar and with news that comes out from Australia. Okay, so we see how the US dollar will perform. We're looking at the USD Canadian, guys. Again, on a 1 hour chart, you can see the fantastic rally that the US dollar had on the Asian session. It started on the US session yesterday and it continued on the Asian session. Will the US dollar versus the Canadian push even higher today? Will it pull back to test the 50 moving average at 132.95? Only time will tell, guys. Usually there should be a bit of a pullback after a rally like this, but let's see how the investor sentiment in the Eurozone comes out in about 45 minutes from now. As I said in the opening, guys, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones closed in green yesterday for the first time in over a week. Okay, giving us a bit of hope that Jerome Powell will support the stimulus measures that Donald Trump wants so bad for American businesses. We see the S&P 500 almost touching the 50 moving average, closing the day there. Very, very curious how the markets will open today. There's still plenty of room for correction, as we see on the charts. Dow Jones, very, very similar. Yeah, we can see it closing the day at 27,287. Again, heading towards the 50 moving average at 27,516 and potentially pushing through the roof, encouraging a correction of the US indices. The US dollar index, as we can see now, is currently trading at 94.22. Very, very good push yesterday, especially in the afternoon for the US dollar index. Very interesting push. Again, the question still remains, where do we take it from here? Is it going to pull back and test the 50 moving average and then push back up, confirming a strong uptrend? Is it going to just push higher and higher on good news from Jerome Powell? We don't know. We're going to see it later on today. Meanwhile, gold futures are trading at their lows, guys, at 1883 as things stand right now. We see gold retracted a bit from this downtrend. A correction is expected, especially after a straight drop of 8 hours, and the RSI and the stochastic way in the oversold levels. So a correction is expected on gold. We don't know how strong that correction will be. We might only get 30, 40 pips out of it. We might get a bit more than that. We still don't know. We need the European markets to settle after the opening end. As you know, guys, it takes usually half an hour at least, or 1 hour, for the markets to settle. And if you have a busy economic calendar, then it might take a bit longer. Now, Brent oil futures, or the European oil, or the UK oil, how we call it, it's still trading low at 41.50. Very, very shy today. The RSI and the stochastic are pointing upwards, so we might see short term a bit of a correction. Again, it might push higher for about 30 pips. It might push to the 41.80 level as things stand right now. We're going to check the trading signals in a few minutes. Alternatively, guys, the $40 mark will be targeted by short-term traders. It all has to do with the crude oil inventories to be announced later on today. So don't expect huge volatility on oil until we get closer to the announcement. That's how it usually works. But again, markets might take us by surprise every time. Now, silver, just like gold, guys, silver has dropped sharply overnight, trading at 23.64. Apparently, we see a very, very shy correction starting. Let me decrease the time frame a bit. There we go. All right, there we go. On a 15-minute chart, the correction has already started. In cases like this, especially on a 15-minute chart, traders are usually targeting the 50 moving average, which is at 24.04 or 24 flat. This is what might happen with the silver futures today. Okay, again, we're going to have a look at the trading signals and see what analysts are saying. Bitcoin, guys, your favorite dropped a bit overnight, currently trading at $10,417. By the looks of it, it's aiming to go even lower at 10,384. This is the previous set of lows, the previous support level. Okay, so short-term traders will probably aim for that level as a take profit if they go short on the Bitcoin. Right now, let's have a quick look at the economic calendar, guys, and see what's expected today. Right, last night we had the API weekly crude oil stock coming out with a surplus of 0.691 million barrels, okay, versus a forecast of a negative 4 million barrels by economists. Okay, we had this morning the consumer price index coming from Singapore. And we moved on with the announcements in the Eurozone, okay, which started at 9 o'clock GMT plus 3. Okay, we have the German consumer climate, okay, which came out negative 1.6% versus an expectation of only negative 1% from consensus. 10 o'clock, we had the Spanish GDP, which again came out better than expectations. In green, we had the French manufacturing PMI coming out a bit better than expected. Now, in a few minutes, we're gonna have the German manufacturing PMI and the German services PMI, followed by the manufacturing PMI in the Eurozone in 32 minutes. So quite a bit of volatility expected in the Eurozone by 11:30. At 11:30, again, we have services and composite PMI on the pound, okay, in the UK. And after lunch, guys, starting from 4 o'clock, we're going to have plenty of activity. On the US dollar, we're going to have the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testifying again in front of the committee, followed by crude oil inventories just 30 minutes after that. Very, very interesting volatility we're going to see today on the US dollar and on crude oil in the afternoon. And by lunchtime, we're going to have volatility in the Eurozone, on the European currencies, right? If everything comes out in green, that should probably give the euro a bit of a boost today, recovering, yes, some of the losses it suffered overnight and yesterday on the US trading session. Right, quick read of an interesting article on oil. Right, concerns over expanded COVID-19 restrictions as global cases continue to rise gave pause to oil inventories, to oil investors. Today the U.S. has passed the 200,000 COVID-19 deaths, and multiple European countries are looking at bringing in further restrictions, causing concerns over an ever greater drop in demand. The UK imposed already stricter containment measures yesterday, with suggestions that the previous lockdown may need to be reinstalled. Okay, obviously that's a big hit for demand, in terms of oil. If a huge country as UK is encouraging people to work from home, and we see more and more restrictions coming into place, then obviously the demand will be very, very low. And with an almost oversupplied market, then the oil price is very likely to go even lower. Okay, in the US, rising inventory numbers are also cause for concern for oil investors, with the American Petroleum Institute having predicted 4 million barrel drop in crude oil supply against the actual draw of only 691,000 barrels. The latest draw numbers will keep WTI futures below the $40 mark, continuing a lackluster run. Now, on on the OPEC front, we have the Libyan National Oil Company that said that it expects output to reach above 250,000 barrels per day at some point next week. The country also expects to resume exports from the Zuitina terminal due to lowered security threats. And investors are now awaiting data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration due to be released later in the day. Now, think about it this way, guys. If we have Libya producing above or equal to 250,000 barrels per day, and Libya is rejoining production, the market is already saturated with oil. Oil demand remains very, very low across Europe and probably in the States as well. What is very likely to happen with the oil price? Okay, when you have an oversupplied market and very, very low demand. Okay, this is another question you're going to have to find the answer to. Now, talking about questions and answers, let me give you the answer to the trivia question, which is what documents you have to upload when opening a trading account and why. I decided to ask you these questions, guys, because I know there's a lot of noise being made of, is it trustworthy? Should I really do that? Why do you want my documents? A lot of unexperienced traders have these questions, and they're afraid to move forward and actually start something just because they have to upload some documents. So the documents you have to upload when opening an online trading account are proof of ID, proof of address, and a proof of payment. Now, pay close attention to the proof of payment, guys, because that's very, very important. So a proof of ID means national ID or passport, okay, preferably with an expiry date. A proof of address is a utility bill, or a bank statement with your name and address on it, no older than 3 months preferably. And a proof of payment is a copy or a photograph of the card you used to make the deposit, but you have to cover the first 12 numbers, and the CVV on the back. Okay, so you have to cover those numbers just like you see on any receipt that you get from any shop when you make a payment with your card, or a purchase with your card. You're gonna get a receipt showing the last 4 digits on the card, okay, and the expiry date, or your name or something next to it. As easy as that. These are the only 3 documents you have to upload when you're opening an online trading account. Why? It's called AML policy, anti-money laundering policy, which is a global directive for all financial firms. Okay, so anytime you have money involved, then you will have to provide these documents for you to be able to play with your money. If you want to withdraw, if you want to trade, whatever you want to do, you need to be verified by the back office department, and they need these 3 documents. Not a driving license, guys, not a business card. You need a proof of ID, proof of address, and a proof of payment. This is it. For the ones of you that know the answer to this question, well done. For the ones of you that don't, this is the whole point of having these daily trivia questions, to try and help you understand how things work. Right, quick look at the trading signals that we have here. We see a strong buy on the euro short term on a 5-minute and a 15-minute chart. Okay, so probably the rebound has started. We see a very shy buy position on a 5-minute chart on the pound. Okay, but the strong seller remains on the higher time frames. Okay, we're looking at the USD JPY, which currently stands on a strong sell on all 4 time frames. This is the correction everyone was waiting for, basically, after the overnight rally. Okay, USD CHF, again, strong sell on 5-minute and 15-minute charts. Okay, so short term. Okay, we're looking at the euro strengthening a bit and the dollar potentially dropping against the Japanese yen and the Swiss franc. We see the euro on a strong buy on the all 4 time frames, okay, against the pound. So euro GBP, guys, if you're trading, have a look at it. Don't follow the trading signals blindly yet. Do a bit of analysis and see if it makes sense. Okay, and then you can go for it. Right, we're looking at Kiwi dollar versus the US dollar, which is in a strong sell apparently. Okay, just like the euro versus the Japanese yen. Again, a strong sell on all 4 time frames. Right, the pound is expected to drop against all its other peers with strong sell on against the JPY and strong sell against the CHF on all 4 time frames. Okay, so this is what the markets are expecting today, at least on investing.com. Again, you can compare the signals, guys. Use the signals, test the signals from Forex. All you have to do is go on their website, click on market signals at the top of the page, and you will see the latest signals they're providing. They give you an entry price, they give you a suggested take profit and a suggested stop loss level. Yeah, one thing investing.com doesn't do. So it depends how you want to trade it. You can try them out both and see how they're going to work. You can see they provide quite a few trading signals throughout the day and throughout the night as well. So all you have to do is try them out. Alternatively, guys, you can join their Facebook group. Okay, they have a Facebook group where they provide even more signals and more benefits to everyone. So feel free to try it out. Right, this was it from my side today, guys. Join me at 4:30 and let's ring the bell together for the US opening. Until then, remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.